Okay, I'm just going to make a quick video to show scaling, how you would take your purchased, pre-made, seamless design. I buy mine on Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, a lot of them on Etsy, different places and designers I find on Facebook. How you would take that and make it the correct size that you want it printed. So I would go to set up my canvas size, and let's start with, you want to do inches, we'll start with 12 by 12, and then your resolution should be set to 300 pixels per inch, 300 dpi, and that's just your blank canvas just to see how our file looks. And let's grab, okay, here's one that I bought on Etsy a while back, and that's just how I downloaded it, exactly from the seller. I haven't done anything to that file. So that's at 12 by 12. The way that this pattern is, there aren't a lot of elements in the design space that they made. So it's going to look super huge scale at 12 by 12. And that's why we would want to change it. So to measure the individual elements, so I have an idea of how big each piece is going to print, I set up my ruler usually first, which is this up here. If you don't have that showing, you can hit Control R on your keyboard and it'll pop up, or you can go to View up top and just click on Rulers. And that will add this little ruler line up here that shows you it's 12 inches by 12 inches. And sometimes it'll automatically populate to pixels, which will look like this. So you'll just want to right click on it and choose inches from the drop down to change it. So it'll tell us the information in inches. And then over here on my left hand toolbar, I choose the rectangular marquee tool. This is your rectangular selection tool. I use it to measure individual elements. If you don't have it set up on a circle, you can just click and hold and change it to the square. And then from there, I click and drag around the size I want to measure, and that's telling me that at 12 by 12, this Super Mario element is going to be like 8 inches big, which is going to look huge on a child's piece of clothing. So I definitely want this scaled down. My characters right now are about 3 3/4 inches high, which is way too big. So to change the scale on that, because a 4-inch character scale on a child's clothing is going to look really big, which I do like for some designs, but not this one. This one should be smaller scale. So to change the scale, I would go to image size. From up top, you click on image, then image size. And I would maybe start by setting this one at 5 by 5. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little. Fit screen. So at 5 by 5, the elements on this, I'll measure them again. Okay, so now our Super Mario is about 2.5 inches high from here to here. Oh, no, about 2 inches high, a little under 2 inches. And then our individual characters are about 1.5 inches high. And visualizing that, that seems a lot better for me. So it's scaled to 5 by 5 now. I would go to File, Save. Most fabric printers are going to want you to send it as a JPEG, which is a print ready file. And get it over into my fabric area. You might want to save the Photoshop file as well, but I'm not really going to do anything to this one, so I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. And I would typically label it Mario Power Up Design 5 by 5, so I know the scale, and what to tell my printer right in the title. Okay, and now if I wanted to check the seamlessness of this and see what the scale would look like on a full design layout, I would go ahead and go to Edit, Define Pattern. And if you want to see what it looks like as a full yardage, you can set up a canvas that is about the size of a yard. 60-inch fabric width for most places in cotton lycra, and then 36 inches high, which is how big a yard is. And then I'd get rid of that little, just double click on that little lock button that was here. Let me get that back. Just show again. How do I put, oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a little lock button here. You can hit the lock to unlock it, and that'll make your pattern editable down here in the lower right-hand corner. Now I have just a layer there. I would go to blending options. And you don't have, this is just an extra step for visualization. You don't have to do this part, but it will show you that your pattern is for sure seamless and that your scale is what you want it to be. So this would be what my full printed yardage looks like when I get my big sheet of fabric. And you can see here that my elements are just the size that I made them. And that's what they would look like fully. Now, if I still have this one, let's see. If I still had it at the 12 by 12, just make that one a pattern 2. Edit, define pattern. Go over here. Right click and do blending options. And change my pattern overlay to the new pattern I just made down here. You would see that looks way bigger. That's what it would look like at print. The pieces would come out huge. And we can toggle through the difference here to see how the scale would look. So if I were making a t-shirt and I had accidentally set it to a giant scale, a child's t-shirt maybe has like a 10-inch width, a toddler shirt, we'd end up with a shirt that looked like this. So your elements wouldn't even fit on there. But we go back to what it looked like on this scale and we cropped it to 10 by 10. Like 10 by 10 here. We'd have all of our elements in there. So that's just to show how important scaling is and how to do it.